Alright, today you're going to learn how to use a spreadsheet to manipulate some data that you got from lab. Now, we're going to do a couple of things. First thing we're going to do is, what I want to do is, I've already pre-sorted this. I've cleaned up the data a little bit. And you'll notice that we have all the animal cells at the top, all the plant cells are at the bottom. So what I want to do is, I'm going to actually create a couple of separate sheets. So I'm going to go, now, one of the things I suggest, you need to do this in OpenOffice. You can also use Excel, but I really think because this tutorial was made in OpenOffice, you probably want to use that. So you're going to go File, you're going to go over here to Insert, Sheet. And this new sheet is going to be plant cells. And I'm going to put it after the current sheet. Say OK. And then I'm going to insert another sheet. And it's going to be animal cells. And again, I'm going to put it after the current sheet. Boom. All right. So now we have these two different sheets. Now, what I did is I sorted these so that the plant cells, the animal cells are at the top already. I kind of took a step out for you guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select all the animal cells and the top column. So I'm getting animal cells down here, so I'm going to go all the way over to telophase, all the way across, all the way up. And I'm going to copy all of this stuff. So I'm going to go edit copy. If you're using a PC, you can right click. This is all animal cells, so I'm going to go insert. Click in this first cell here, and I'm going to go insert, paste. And that just pastes all the guys in there. Now you notice how things are a little squished up. One trick you can do is if you put your mouse in between a couple of columns and just double click so that a black line, a black vertical line shows up and click, well, nothing happens. But I think if you drag it, that's odd, okay? It should snap so that the size of the columns are all based on what the text is in it. It doesn't seem to want to do that, which I find odd. Oh, there we go. Apparently it thinks that is the best size for the slides. Alright. So anyway, so here we go. We've got this. Now, what I'm going to do now is I want to insert a row, because what I want to do is I'm going to actually take some totals. Alright. What I'm going to have you guys do is I'm going to have you guys create, do the same thing for your own work, but for now, I'm just going to show you guys how to create subtotals and then do a pie graph. Okay, so I'm going to go insert row. And what I want to do here is I'm going to call this right under where it says InDage, class totals. Class totals. Let's highlight that. Alright, so what I want to do, and that wound up in the wrong space because I don't pay attention to what I'm doing, so I'm going to go X, put that back, B, and put class totals up here, and put Taylor's name back up here, Control C. And just delete the name Taylor, sorry about that. V, that's a 1. Alright, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to total up all my numbers. Okay, so I'm going to go equals, and I'm going to do this by typing. Alright, you'll notice up here in the formula bar, and an equal sign shows up. I'm going to put it right here in the cell, equals sum, so that's the command, SUM, open parenthesis, and then I'm going to drag down to everything. I'm going to click on the cell directly below. In this case, it's C3, but it's directly below the cell that I'm trying to fill. And I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag down. Actually, I drag down ridiculously far, but that actually doesn't matter because it'll just take all those empty cells and empty. And then I'm going to parenthesis close. And that didn't work because I just did something stupid. Okay, so I'm going to try it again. I'm going to have to, oops, wait a minute. Yeah, it did work. Sum C3, so 355. So there's 585 cells in interphase. And now I could go in each one of these columns, the prophase, I could just do that again, equals sum C5. Okay, the next one is going to be equals cell sum D5, D65, C55. All right, the next one is going to be E, so it's going to be E3 to E55. But there's a real simple way of getting formulas to go across, which I'm going to show you right now. All I have to do is click in the lower right-hand corner, and you'll notice that You cannot see this because it does not show up on Snagit, but you'll notice that your cursor turns into a little cross. And I'm going to click and I'm going to drag that formula all the way across, and you'll notice that the number of cells in each phase pops up. Okay, and if I actually click on the next cell, the number of cells in prophase, you'll notice up in the formula bar it says D3 to D55. If I click on the next one, that's what I'm going to do. It's being a little fussy today. Click on the next one, I get that. I'm going to stop doing that. But you get the general impression of what's going on. For some reason, my computer's getting sticky keys. All right, so there you go. So now, I want to make a pie chart. So I want to see how this looks compared to the cell cycle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight all of these guys, and I'm going to go Insert. Where is what I'm looking for? Actually, I think it might be here. We're going to have to find a tool. Okay, it seems to have disappeared. Give me a second. Oh, there we are. Okay, you're going to notice this little icon here at the top, which has a little bar graph. We're going to put a chart in. And the kind of chart I want is a pie chart. So it brings us up. I'm going to click on pie chart. And I'm going to say, okay, I really do want this to not be there. So it's going to be a simple pie chart. It actually shows you what you're using. I'm going to try. I'm hoping that I can move it once it's in there. I'm sure there's a way of doing it. You could give it a 3D look if you want to. That doesn't really add any information, but it makes it look prettier. And so if you actually take a look at this, that's a chart. It looks like it actually covered everything the way we wanted it. So I'm going to go next. Data series and rows, first row and column, looks like everything's over there. Next. And I could put in some names, but I think we're not going to do that. I'm going to just drag this over to the side so it's not in the middle of all my data over here. And now, of course, you can't see it. I'm just going to drag it over so you can see where it is. But if you take a look, we now have a pie chart that shows the numbers of phases in each cell. Okay, what does it show you? Well, basically the largest number of cells are in interphase, followed by prophase, then metaphase, anaphase, and telophase, which is kind of cool. All right, so this actually looks beautiful. Now, what you are going to do, all right, you're going to do this for the group totals, all right? So you're going to do the same thing over here, but we now need to do plant cells, and the problem is the plant cells in the wrong place. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to select all the plant cells. And the first thing I'm going to do, I'm actually going to take this title row here, and I'm going to go Edit Copy. I'm going to go to Plant Cells. I'm going to put there and go Edit Paste. And it's going to drop the title cells in there. And then I'm going to go and drag down, and I'm going to select all the plant cell stuff. I may as well just do this. It'll only take a couple of seconds. You take all the plant cells and go Edit Copy. And then I'm going to take the plant cell data, edit, click in the column to the A2 column right below, paste, and all that data goes in. Now I just have to insert a column. Insert a row, mistake. And then I'm going to put all that information in for the animal cells. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to click in the first cell, and I'm going to do equals sum, open parenthesis, and then I'm going to just drag all of these different data into it. If you're not sure how to do it, take another look. Now, the other thing I would like you to do, you may notice that these guys are not necessarily sorted by name, and that kind of creates a little bit of a problem because I'd like to do the same thing, but I would want to use my individual data. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go Insert Sheet. I'm going to insert after the current sheet. I'm going to call this Plant Cell Personal. And then what I'm going to do is there's a couple of ways I can do this. I can simply go back, take the titles again, Control C, and put the Plant Cell Personal right up here at the top, Control V. And then all I can do is I can go back here and I can go pick my individual names out. Or if I want to do something that's really helpful, I'm going to go Insert. I'm going to go to Data, and I'm going to go sort, but this time I'm going to sort by the first column. I'm going to sort by image name. Okay. Now, if I did this right, all of mine should be together. All right. So you notice here we've got, let's see, we'll go with Jacob Karen. He's got all his animal cells and things here together. I'm just going to highlight these three. I'm going to go copy. And then I'm going to go plant cell personal. And if I was Jacob Karen, which I'm not, I just go first column under where it says image name, we'll Control V, and then boom, all the stuff pops up. And of course, I did animal cell instead of plant cells here, so I'm going to just have to change the name of this sheet. I click on the little tab and go animal cell. So, and say OK. Now, and of course, how do I do the chart? I go insert. I click on the top row, Jacob Karen. I go insert row. I do a sum, which is going to be, there is another way of doing sum, which is to use the form sigma. I don't see it here, so I'm just going to type in equals, open parenthesis, very important, open parenthesis. I grab these three columns, close parenthesis, I hit enter, and it didn't like that, equals, I didn't write in the word sum, open parenthesis, close parenthesis. That's not what I wanted. Come on, James. Better than that. And then I just drag this over. Now we're going to say, well, this should, what I really want to see is, okay, well, how does this work? Did we do better or worse than the class data? So I'm going to highlight the top two rows, and I'm going to click on the icon for a graph. I'm going to put in a pie chart, and just let's see how Jacob's data went. Next. Finish. And it's not bad. The important thing he has is that, in fact, there are more interphases than anything else. You notice that he didn't happen to have any in telophase. Well, that makes kind of sense because telophase is very quick. He probably missed it. It probably wasn't happening in any of the cells he looked at. So, what's your job? Your job is to create the Excel spreadsheet. It's going to have all the form responses on it, the plant's responses, which are going to be summed and totaled, and then summed and then put in the form of a pie chart. The animal cell sheet, which again, you're going to do the class totals, and then you're going to put in the form of a pie chart. Animal cells personal, which you're going to total up, and then put in the pie chart, and then plant cell totals. So in this lab, what you've done is you've learned how to create a spreadsheet, insert rows, sort, and create graphs. All right, that's it for today. When you're done, you're going to upload it in the spot.